Well, I think 11 versus 13. I think between the two of us, I think we forced more turnovers, like almost 1,200 turnovers, for the whole year. And so it's a battle between two teams that play really hard. Like to push the tempo, I think, a little bit. They really like to push the tempo, and I'm anxious to see us play in that environment on the road. I think it'll be a great test for us, obviously. They're playing well. Matthews does a great job. And again, I think it's two mirror image teams with how they like to play defensively. So we'll have our work cut out for us, no doubt about it. I'm sure they'll have a great crowd, and it should be a great ball game.
Coach Morgan doesn't like to talk about herself. I don't know why. He doesn't like to talk about themselves. But what can you say about her and her job this year as a freshman?
Well, Morgan's special. I mean, she's probably the fastest kid I've ever coached. In a straight line with the ball. She's really, really fast. Got great quickness laterally as well. Competitor. She got rattled a little bit the first half the other night, which isn't the first time that's happened, but was able to shrug that off and come back in the second half and really play well, and that's a sign of a tremendous competitor. I've obviously got a lot of confidence in her. She's finished a lot of ball games for us this year, as well as JJ. But as a freshman, she's been in her fair share of big ball games and finished them, and I'm glad she's on my team, and I'm glad I don't have to try to defend her.
Now that Sunday's game's over with, after you had a little time for everything to kind of sink in, just how big of a win was that for you and this team?
Well, I think it's a big win for our team. It's you just have so much respect and admiration for Coach Blair and that program and where they've been over the past 12, 14 years. So you know that you went toe to toe and head to head with a top 10 that's been perennially a top 10 program every year. They were number 5 at one time this season, and so it just. Obviously you're proud of your kids. I'm very, very proud of them and their tenacity, their competitiveness, their toughness throughout that ball game, and just hanging in there. Hanging around and making a play at the end. We made 3 plays at the end, and so you're proud of Victoria for stepping up and making a big shot after she goes 1 for 7 or 1 for 8. But in your mind, hey, you can't get better odds, y'all. I mean, there's not better odds in Vegas. If she's going 1 for 7, good chance that next one's going in. And so, I rolled the dice with her and called her number, and she delivered. And then we had 2 big stops, down there defensively, which if anybody knows me, that's how I want to win a game. I want to win it on the defensive end, making a stop. I'm a lot more comfortable doing that than having to feel like we got to score. So it's obviously a big win for us. Gets us to 8-3. Keeps us in the hunt right now for some real special things.
Talk about those special things. Do you ever start thinking about seeding for the SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament with this game against Kentucky? Another team you're kind of eyeing for that number 4 seed to get the bye. Do you ever think about things like that?
I do. I don't talk a lot about it, but obviously I do. I pay attention to those things. We got 5 games left, and there's basically 4 of us trying to get in that 3rd and 4th spot, and there's only room for 2. So, obviously it's something that's in my mind. But again, I really have tried to maintain a big picture attitude with this team, just wanting us to get better every day in every ball game. And, part of it today, in practice, a little disappointed in that, here we are, we're 13th in the country, and, I want us to practice like 13th in the country. And, I just refuse to let them have an average day. You're not average if you're 13th in the country, y'all. And so I don't think you should practice that way. I don't think anything you do should be average. Going to class, how you prepare yourself for class, prepare yourself for practice. I think, as y'all know, my words this year have always been live it, and I want our kids to live it, and I want them to own it, and that's kind of where we are right now.
How do you bottle up the emotions from Sunday's win and take that on the road in a tough place to play?
Well, again, I think you got to realize where you're fixing to go and who you're fixing to play and how they want to play, and you better have a game plan to do things the way you want to do them and not let them dictate how they want to do them. And so, you know, emotionally, I've said all along, I think every win we've had this year's, you know, you look out there at our players, there's been some games where they're just jumping up and down for joy, and, you know, whether it's a NIT victory or an NIT championship victory or a regular conference game victory. I mean, our kids enjoy winning, and rightfully so. I mean, they're so precious. Winning is such a precious thing in this league, and so, you know, I think that one's gone. And I think, you know, we're on to the next one. We know what we're up against at Kentucky and the type of team they have, the great players that they have, and so we've got to get ready for that.
Any other questions? All right.
All right. Praise the Lord and go Dogs.
Thanks, Vic.
Thank you.